Welcome to the credit video for Let's Play Far Cry 3. I'm BurningDogFace. And it has been a hell of a ride. They let me choose. They let me choose to do the right thing. Can't believe they were gonna make me kill Jason's friends. I have to say, I am actually legitimately disappointed that apparently I killed Voss in a dream sequence. I mean, because of that, I was absolutely convinced Voss is coming back. Right up and basically until the credits rolled. Well, okay, when I got to the temple, I had pretty much decided by then it wasn't going to happen, but man. I mean, the story wasn't the best I've ever seen in a game, but it brought up genuine emotions in me. I still feel very strange with that last cutscene because I've never heard someone say the words "I love you" before. And then felt an overwhelming disgust. But Jason left Rook Island behind. And now I see that Citra had to die for the island to be free. The most powerful piece on a chessboard isn't the rook. It's the queen. What a ride. I remember wondering what I was getting myself into when I was climbing that first radio tower with that crappy 1911 pistol in my hand. So, let's get this out of the way because it's pretty simple. Hell yes, I recommend that if you like first-person shooters, if you like open-world games, if you like survival themes, you should definitely play Far Cry 3. Yes, it's a bit long for its own good, and they make the rather questionable storyline decision of dragging things out after Voss dies. But, other than it outstaying its welcome, this is a fantastic game. The shooting is great, all the weapons feel unique and good in their own right. There's a million ways to approach every encounter. You know, this is fantastic. I've been thinking about it for a very long time, and I finally come to the decision that, in my opinion, the best way to experience Far Cry is to do Blood Dragon first. You know, assuming, that you have any interest at all in 80s action and sci-fi movies, I feel like Blood Dragon is a better place to start. I mean, yes, I liked the story in Blood Dragon a lot better than I liked this one, because that one was ludicrous and over the top. And also because I liked stuff like cyborgs and, you know, plots to save the world and stuff. But, mostly, it's the scale. I feel like if I had played Far Cry 3 first and then gone to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, you know, the much smaller size of the map, the vastly reduced number of things to do, all that would have been disappointing to me. I don't see any way I could have played that game without being disappointed. Like, after the huge... There's 3 different skill trees you can go through in this game. You don't even get to pick the order you take your skills in Blood Dragon. You just get the next one in a given list, which you can even look up in the manual every time you level up. But they did a great job of making this story feel personal. You know, I do acknowledge the fact, actually, going back to that other thought, that, the downside to playing Blood Dragon first is that, in retrospect, the tutorial level of that game, which is basically take over a, I didn't call them outposts in that one, it was, I don't remember what they were called. But they were, there were only about a dozen of them, maybe like 20 at the most, but, each one was much bigger than an outpost in Far Cry 3. They're actually about the size of, what's it called? Of Hoyt's compound there. And the tutorial mission is basically take over this one. So yes, you know, they clearly assume that you've played Far Cry 3 so that, oh, here we go. I don't know any of those names. But, yeah, they kind of throw you into the deep end, and it's kind of rough if you play Blood Dragon first, without any experience in Far Cry 3. And then, similarly, when you play, when you go to Far Cry 3, having played Blood Dragon, the first few missions feel real hand-holdy because they're explaining the basics to you. But other than that, I feel like that's the preferred way to do this, because you experience, you know, the open world gameplay, the ability to mess around with it, and then, okay, you know, you've proven you're good at this. Here's another game. It's so much bigger. It's got, you know, more guns. There weren't even different categories of guns. There was an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, a shotgun, and this one, there's 4 or 5 in every category. Here's a much huger map with a much wider variety of things to do. So worried that the game was going to end with Jason going native. And in the end, you know what? I actually felt sorry for Citra. I pitied her. She was lost in her own madness. Honestly thought she was right. She really wanted Jason to stay with her. I do remember this. Ubisoft credits always take a while. I really enjoyed this game, but I gotta say I'm glad to have finished it. I'm ready to put this behind me. Ready to go into something new for a new Let's Play. Really want to thank all you guys for sticking around from beginning to end. This has been an epic journey, but knowing you guys were there with me made it all worth it. Time is it? Oh god, it's 7 o'clock. I got started real late today and then I had to do, well, 6 videos if you include this separate credit video. Top Gear management team? Oh, technology group. So I've been watching a bunch of clips of this British car show that doesn't seem to really be about cars online. Oh, there are cars in it, but it's like, let's convert this truck into a boat and try to sail it across the River Thames. So we're getting distracted. I'm so glad that in the end, Jason got to take his friends home. Jason got to go home. I won't be able to play Far Cry 4 until I get a computer upgrade, or Far Cry Primal for that matter, but I am interested in both of them. But I will say this, even if I had the, a bleeding edge gaming rig right now, I think I've had enough Far Cry to suit me for a long, long time. dark out by now. I wonder if those are typos, or if those guys' last names actually don't have capital letters on them. Oh, here we go, getting into the legal stuff. And now going back into the credits. Come on! I mean, you know, it's my little ritual. I just played through these guys' entire game online, and you guys, and you know, and people were able to see it for free. So the least I could do is show the entire credit roll. Give these guys, well, the credit that's due. I think it was the high five scene where I thought to myself, Sam is probably going to die before this is over. I actually thought he's going to get killed during the poker game, and I'm going to go down on the floor, get that knife out of his boot, and stab Hoyt in the gut. I wonder how many Ubisofts there are. Red Storm. It always seems to me that, oh, there we go, the big main one, Ubisoft Entertainment. Maybe this is the last one. Just... I don't remember the last time the credits ended. The credits went rolled, and I ran out of things to say. I guess it doesn't hurt that this is one of the longest games I've ever LP'd, and I've probably gone through everything that was worth saying in the actual gameplay. I was actually the slightest bit disappointed when I heard about, Far Cry Primal, because I'd still been holding out hope that they would follow Far Cry 4 with a standalone sequel to Blood Dragon. Like a second Blood Dragon game with the budget of a Far Cry 3. Like an island this size and a story this involved, with just full of 80s nonsense. Frankly, I was disappointed when they didn't do Far Cry 4, Blood Dragon 2. Rex goes to the mountains. Oh yeah. I just remembered that, you play as someone else in Far Cry 4. Jason Brody's story has come to an end. Did it start over at some point? I know the music has started over. That happened with Crisis, I remember. I realized the graphics had started... the credits had started over. I will say this. I feel pretty accomplished. Voss is dead, and it's only a matter of time before his pirates splinter themselves into nothingness. Hoyt is dead, and without a paycheck, the privateers will bail. Because none of them are smart. Let's face it, none of the guys we faced were smart enough to rebuild from nothing against the entire Rakyat force. Citra's dead. So maybe the Rakyat can become a force for good. Like a real force for good. And Sam Becker, Alec Earnhardt, and Grant Brody's deaths have been avenged. Hell, I even avenged my finger. Now, what would be really freaky is if at the very end of the thanks thing they threw in your Uplay, what's it called? Your Uplay username. Special thanks to BurningDogFace. Make it fun, damn. That was the one I really liked. Tamoko. That's familiar. There's enough of these that I'm starting to suspect that, yeah, those were actual things on the radio. Even if they were just loops. This has Flash in it? Okay. Well. Return to the island and continue exploring? Yeah. So this is the non-canon after part where you, was trying to see if it was still missing a finger. The non-canon after part, where you just wander around and do all the stuff you didn't do before. Achievement unlocked. What a trip. Attend the final ceremony. Poker night. Win the poker game. Let's see what we did here. Oh. Say hi to the internet. Find the lost Hollywood star. Archaeology 101. Gather a total of 60 relics. Freefall. Freefall more than 100 meters and live in single player only. Rock always wins. Fully distract 25 enemies with rocks. Single player only. Never saw it coming. Kill an enemy with a takedown from above, from a glider, zipline, or parachute. Single player only. Improper use. Kill an enemy with a repair tool. Single player only. I meant to try that. Toxophyllite. Kill a target from 70 meters or more with a bow. Single player only. Heartless Pyro. Kill 50 enemies with a flamethrower. Single player only. Fully inked. Earn every time. Oh, I'm about to get that one. Here we come. We're complete ready or not co-op map. Then there's the co-op. Okay. I was actually about to do that. Just gonna beam over to Earnhardt's mansion so that I can take a quick peek in for flashbacks. I don't think I would use them at this point. I never did work out how to get down there easily. No, that's the front entrance. Ah, here we go. Okay. That answers that. Ow. Well then. The sun's rising on a new day. And I feel great. I'll probably come back to this game eventually and, at the very least, take care of those last few side missions. But for the time being, I'm looking forward to getting to something new. And look at that, no hard feelings on the Rakyat. They weren't even red in the map. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm BurningDogFace, and on behalf of myself, Jason Brody, and all his friends, of course, I thank you for joining me for Let's Play Far Cry 3. I hope you've enjoyed watching me. No, I'm done with violence. I hope you've enjoyed watching me. And I hope you'll join me on my next video series. Later. Wait, what am I doing? I didn't even do the thing. Dual death from below. Click the right stick to kill 2 enemies above on a climbable ledge. Times 7.5 experience per kill. One in the dick and one in the throat. Alright. Yes! One last time. Dealmaker. Sell loot items at stores for 25% more money. The boar. I'm going to guess that I don't get those, That's weird. What are the dots, then? I'm going to guess that you don't get these wings up here unless you kill your friends. And maybe I got the boar because I was defiant and chose to do the right thing. But what in the world are these dots, then? Oh well. Okay, it's the next day, and I decided that I didn't want Let's Play Far Cry 3 to end on a dreary, rainy note. So I've jumped back in, and sun's shining on a new, hopeful dawn. And I thought I would show you guys one last achievement, which I went and looked up because I was curious. Seems if you go right about here, which is just to the northwest of Broken Neck Home and Rook Point Tower, just follow the beach, and you will find a pair of dudes hanging from a tree, a machete sticking out of the sand, and over here, the head of a dude buried in the sand. The quick explanation for that is that, as part of the pre-release marketing for this game, Ubisoft put out a web series called The Far Cry 3 Experience, which was about a real-life actor named, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, maybe Mintz-Plasse, who I only know as McLovin from Superbad, which I didn't even like very much, but that's beside the point. He played himself, and the idea was that he ended up on Rook Island, and, well, the long story short is that it ends with Voss burying him in the sand. So this is supposed to be Christopher Mintz-Plasse's head. So, when you interact with it, achievement unlocked, say hi to the internet. There you are. Say hi to the internet. Find the lost Hollywood star. Just a couple of other things I wanted to throw in, since it's already running forever, I thought I might as well. In the bad ending, you murder your friends, Citra declares you her mate, and then, there's a first-person sex scene. But, once you're finished, Citra stabs you in the heart with the special knife everyone's so obsessed with, and declares that the path of the warrior was designed to lead to this, and that, even though you're gone, the child she's carrying will be the perfect warrior, and he will grow up to lead the Rakyat to a new age of glory, or some nonsense. She whispers, "You won," right before you black out and die. One thought I don't know that I ever actually mentioned. I do know that I mentioned I was curious why Jason is picking up the Letters of the Lost in the first place, because he doesn't seem especially interested in history, but a friend of mine brought up a very good point in that there's no evidence that Jason can even read Japanese. So even though it was telling us what the letters said, he might not have realized that. If I did mess up the last thing on the Hoyt finisher animation, if you get that last button press, Jason pulls the knife out of his side and stabs him in the top of the head with it. The nightclub in those flashback sequences. The lettering on the walls is Thai writing. Apparently the nightclub in Bangkok, where all this nonsense started, is called Far Cry. Well, Far Shout, literally, but I love the joke in that. And finally, I couldn't resist looking it up. Looked into Herc in Far Cry 4, but they've made it ambiguous whether or not he really gets Rakyat tattoos. Because, well, owing to the next game's mountainous setting, Herc's outfit in that game includes long sleeves. So once again, and for real this time, I'm BurningDogFace, and I thank you for joining me for Let's Play Far Cry 3. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I hope you'll join me for my next video series. Later, Burning Dog fans, and have yourselves a great day.